So 2017 is drawing to a close, and it's really hard for me to wrap my head around that. Last year, I felt the year. You know, I went through it and I didn't have an existential crisis at the end, and I was like chill and fine. And this year, that feeling has crept into me again. I feel like from August onward, whipped by. Like I was trying to hold on to each month, but it just, I don't know, it went so much faster the second half of this year. And now it's already December and 2018 is approaching. I remember when I was like in middle school, thinking about 2017 and how I can't even imagine being that old. Like, Paul will graduate high school. How will that year even exist? And here it is, over. My youngest brother has graduated from high school. My little sister is 24. What is time? Existential crisis is present this year. The existential crisis is definitely present. These videos that I've been doing every year really help me wrap my head around time and life. I know that sounds stupid, but as Ferris Bueller once said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you're gonna miss it. This is me stopping and looking around and taking a breath before jumping into the next big adventure, 2018. Right at the start of the year, I got to moderate Adam Silverna's Barnes & Noble event at the Grove with Natasha. We played Harry Potter trivia. It was amazing.
I'm on 3, guys. Yeah? I want you to act out and say an unforgivable curse.
Oh my god.
Crucio!
Stop it! I didn't
Right.
I was so ready to scare the dragon.
This year marked the 10-year anniversary of Vlogbrothers, and Kat and I went to NerdCon Nerdfighteria together in Boston. And it was so much fun. We hosted a Boston meetup. In March, I threw a bachelorette party. It was Parks and Rec themed. It was for my best friend, Katie McCormick. Now McCormick Hume. She got married. I was her maid of honor. It was so much fun. I managed to give a 10-minute speech in front of like 100 people I don't know without any notes. Just me and a microphone. I went to Y'all West again this year. There was another Booksplosion panel, and for the first time ever, I had a Poland Bananas Books merch booth, like a physical booth at Y'all West.
Merch City.
To ride on the Venice Simplon Orient Express. Fox invited me to ride the train that inspired the Orient Express. I went to BEA. I had an amazing time with BookTube. I met Chad Michael Murray. Kat, Jesse, and I hosted another Booksplosion panel. My whole family was there to see it. I got to meet so many of you guys. I was invited as a featured creator at VidCon again this year, which is always such an honor. Kat, Jesse, and I hosted our 2nd annual Booksplosion cosplay event at the Barnes & Noble Orange. The 3 of us were all characters from Sarah J. Maas books. I was Feyre. In July, there was a book published with a piece from me inside it, Because You Love to Hate Me, an anthology. I did an event at the Grove with a bunch of other authors who were also involved in the book, and like I was part of the event. I wasn't the moderator. It was mind-boggling afterward when people came up to get their book signed, and I just was expected to sign every book because I was in it. And like I've never done that before. I mean, people have asked me to sign their book because they watch my YouTube channel and maybe I introduced them to said book, but signing books because I was in it, like every single book was, and even if they didn't know who I was, my name was in it, so sign it. It was just so surreal. I went to Comic-Con again with Natasha and Sasha and Jesse. This year was the best year yet. I'm more familiar with the San Diego Convention Center now. There was a Because You Love to Hate Me panel that I got to be on, and the last day Natasha, Sasha, and I did Westworld cosplay, which is my favorite show, and I was so excited about it. I'm so happy we did it. In August, my family came to visit me in California. And we went to San Diego together. We went to the National Park Zoo. We got to feed giraffes and a rhinoceros rhinoceros. That's just something that you don't expect to ever get to do. It was fascinating. Giraffes have such beautiful eyelashes and cool tongues. Another day we went to Universal Studios in California. When we went to Ollivander's, I was chosen. I'm like tearing up thinking about how magical of a moment that was for me when I got to get my wand at Ollivander's. So special all day. It took more than a day to wear off because a wand chose me. Magic is real. In September, I got to speak at the first BookNet Fest, which was amazing. I got to go to Harry Potter Land on the day of the epilogue, like the actual day, 19 years later. We're getting ready for our first day of Hogwarts, senior year. It's the first day of school. I'm a prefect. I'm gonna get expelled. I'm going to get you. Oh, worse. It's all that I want and it's all that I need. And Hogwarts, I think I'm going back. Wonder Woman event at the Grove, which was amazing. I was invited to Bufferfest this year. I went to Canada for the first time ever because I was invited to Bufferfest to screen a video. It was just the first time in a while that I've done something by myself without like a close friend with me. Like I had to go talk to people. You know, there wasn't like an automatic group that I knew that I'd be able to hang out with. I had to put myself out there. And that's such a challenge for me. And it was screened at a theater, like huge, giant. Like I've never seen one of my videos like that. The whole experience was so cool. I couldn't look up at the thing. I was like sitting in front of it in a chair and it was like giant behind me. I was just like looking at the floor, but people were laughing. So I was happy. In October, I went to New York City Comic-Con again. I was on a booktube panel, and then the next day, Kat, Jessie, and I got to host a Hogwarts Booksplosion bash where everyone came dressed in their house colors. In November, I went to South Carolina again for Y'all Fest. We had our annual Booksplosion meetup. And of course, I can't not mention that Taylor Swift dropped her new album this year, Reputation. And Taylor Swift's new album, Reputation, has dropped. It dropped at Y'all Fest. So Kat, Jessie, and I had a listening party at midnight. Taylor Swift did choreography. All the Swifties learned it. Kat and I did it together at Barnes & Noble in Charleston. I got to see Robert Pattinson in person for the first time ever. Like, my dream in 2008. Finally got to see him in person in 2017. He was just like a person. And it was just weird. Like, I know people are people, but like, Robert Pattinson, there's been so much more than a person in my head. He's Edward Cullen. Finally, last but not least, my book. This year was full of writing for me. I've had an amazing time drafting this book over and over again. I loved working with Kat back and forth. We traded sections of our works in progress and read them and gave feedback. At the end of the year, in November, my book sold. It's on the track to being published. Macmillan's Wednesday Books is gonna publish it in spring 2019. My book has a title. It's Again But Better. It's real. My big things for next year are to keep yogaing my heart out on a regular basis and to outline the book that I want to write when I'm done with this one. Because I have the idea and I have the characters. I want to have a solid, detailed outline going into the first draft. This was the year of Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man Homecoming, and there was a new Star Wars The Last Jedi, which hardcore Star Wars fans had some issues with, but I loved. I hope you had a good 2017. Try to focus on the good stuff that you did that you're proud of. Keep in mind that it's always okay to step away from the internet. If maintaining a positive mindset means taking a step back, then take it. Because positivity, hope, it's important. Keep moving, inching towards the goals. I'm Christine. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the new year.
How did Stephanie Meyer come up with the name Wiley?